Hello. So this video is going to be about this. This is the new design for the door thumper banger knocker. Instead of using the one arm, we are going to use three arms. So you can find this model in Thingiverse and print it from there. When it prints, you may find that this might print too small, these holes here. So you'll need to open up this one. If your screw doesn't fit, you will need a 1/4" bit to open this one up. And for this one, you can use a 5/32 bit to open that one up to make sure that your screws will fit. So, and I'll go over the screws in more detail later. These are just an example. So this is the type of screw that you need to go in here. And this is a 1/4". It needs to fit in here. So obviously this hole is too big to fit the wiper motor. So I'm going to show you how we're going to be attaching this to the wiper motor. And there's a reason why the hole is bigger. So I'm going to take this away for now and I'll bring it back later. You're going to need to download this template and print it out in actual size. It cannot be fit to page or any other size. It has to be to this size because this is going to be for this fender washer with a 1/4" hole, and this is 1¼ wide. The lettering on this one is AJC as in cat. Hopefully you can see that there. And this is the exact same size as this. So what you need to do is cut this out and tape it on this. So I'm going to cut this out and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've gone ahead and cut out our template, which I would recommend do it on the side that doesn't have the lettering because it'll make it easier. You need to cut it out as best as you can, and I would suggest taping it on here to make your life easier. So I've gone ahead and taped that up. You can see the tape on there. Just try not to get it on the holes and try to get it as best as possible. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take this to mark our holes. So you need to make a mark in the center to make sure your drill bit doesn't dance around. So you can see that made its mark there. Doing that one. So now I'm going to do this one. Do this one more time. Once you mark your holes, you can take off your template and you should have your 3 little dots on there. So we're going to drill these out with the 5/32 bit. These guys here. So the holes that go around, you drill them out with the 5/32 bit. The hole in the center is 1/4". You're going to need to drill that one out bigger to 5/16 inch. For that, I'm going to use my step bit just to make the hole bigger. When doing this, my suggestion will be to take a vice grip plier and grab onto this, put it on a piece of wood when you're drilling these holes. That'll make your life easier. And when drilling this one, just hold it with a vice grip or some other method, whichever is safest, and just make this hole wider. You just don't want to hold this with your hand because the likelihood is that the drill bit will catch and this is just going to come flying out. So the vice grip will give you nice grip and control. So I'm going to go ahead, drill out the center hole, drill out these 5/32, and I'll be back. Alright, so as you can see, I've gone ahead and drilled my holes with a 5/32 drill bit. You can't really tell from here, but I've made this one wider by 5/16 inch. Right here, this mark, you can see that's where I was holding it with the vice grip. Make sure you clean out any burrs that are on it. So you're gonna need 3 screws and 3 nuts. Ideally, you use or have nylon pressure nuts. I don't have them handy right now, so I'm just going to demonstrate it with these. These are 6-32 screws and nuts. These happen to be 1 inch long. They don't need to be this long, but these are the ones that I had on hand. So if they're too long, you can actually cut these with one of these wire cutter type things. You basically open it up, screw it into the appropriate hole. Once it goes to the length that you need it, you just snap it and it's shorter. I'll demonstrate that. So we have our piece. The washer is gonna go on the side with the bump. So simply, you line it up with the holes. If you did it properly, they should fit. Put your screws in. Screw it on the other side, and you're done. That's it. So as you can see, these are pretty long. So I need to cut about 1/4 inch. So let me demonstrate that, but let me go get a Sharpie. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure one. I'm just gonna mark it to a spot. Again, if you have nylon pressure washers, you might need to leave these a little longer than I am. So basically, just in case you don't know how to use this, like I said, these have the sizes. So this is the 6/32 on here. So I just screw this on here. Now my line needs to be around here, not all the way outside. So once I'm almost to the end, I'll just measure. So right here, that line that I drew is about twice this. So once I don't see it anymore, I'll go a little bit more. Again, if you cut it too short, you can always get another screw. And if you cut it too long, you can cut it shorter. So it's on there. So right there, you can see this fell out. Now getting it out of here, sometimes you will need to use a screwdriver. So I've cut that one. I put it on here. Now you can see it's basically the length that I need. You can actually clean this off with a file, because sometimes it's a little hard to get the screw on after you do it. Sometimes it goes right on, as you can see. So let me cut the rest and I'll be right back. So as you can see, I've cut all the screws. So let me just put it on here. The side with the washer will go again towards the motor. And this one's giving me a hard time getting it on, as I mentioned. So let me get this on and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've gone ahead and put them on there. As you can see, fits very nicely. I will be using it's technically the hole is 5/16, but when I buy these, it says 1/4 inch. So whichever you get, just make sure that the hole is a 5/16 or that it fits a 5/16 inch bolt. This one happens to have 3 A's in it, A. And this is a 5/16 inch bolt, and as you can see, it can go in it and it has some light play, just like here. I'm gonna be using this bolt to align this washer with this hole when I install it. Obviously, this washer is too big, it's not gonna fit in here. So I'm gonna show you how to put it on, but before that, I actually need to take this piece off. So I'm gonna take this piece off and I'll be right back. All right, so as you can see, I have taken my big washer out. So what you would do is, you would drop this washer in the center here. This one happens to fit in here perfectly, and yours might also if you have the same size. And then I'll put my original washer that I made for this on here. Now, what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna put on my nuts, but I'm not gonna tighten them, and then I'll be right back. So I have put my nuts back on it. So just to make sure that that stays centered while you're tightening it, what you can do is you can stick a bolt through here just to make sure that it stays centered enough and tie these on. But if you can see that as you're tightening this, it's pretty much in the center. As we can see in here, it's almost at the center, you know, this goes in easily. So I can just go ahead and tighten these and we're done. That'll give us enough space so when we put it on the motor and tighten this onto it, it will not spin. Because again, this might be too thin for it. So you would likely need that washer, and that's how you would take care of that. Alright, so as you can see, I've gone ahead and taken off the arm. And now I'm going to install this piece as I had mentioned. This piece really, you'll have an easier time installing it if you take your washer and your pressure washer and you put it in here first. Then you take your nut, you put it in your socket. Put your socket against the wheel. Get your wheel in the hole. And then just turn your ratchet. And then just tighten it till it's nice and tight. Alright, so as promised, I'm going to show you the hammer with the new wheel. I've gone ahead and put on the rubber band. I actually put on 2 of them just to get a louder bang. So we're going to hear how it sounds with 3 arms instead of 1. So I'm actually holding this up because I haven't mounted it on the door. That's why you see it moving around. So here we go. As you can see, it sounds pretty nice. This is with the 2 rubber bands and the new wheel. Again, if you enjoyed this video, you like this project, please give it a like, share it with your friends or hunters, and subscribe if you like the channel.